everybody, Carolina Jordan here, your Christian family realtor in the Somerville, South Carolina area. I'm super excited. We have another episode of Realistic Real Estate, and we are so blessed to have Dan Crance, our loan officer here, our preferred one. We're very blessed that he is still wanting to do these videos with us and educate us when it comes to that home buying process on the mortgage side. So today we have the topic of what is a good credit score. How are you today, Dan?
Hey, I'm super. Thanks for having me on another video yet. You keep asking, I keep saying yes. So, we'll have everything covered here for long.
Very good. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So looking forward to today's topic about credit scores and, what they mean and what's a good score and the ambiguity that's associated with the scores.
That's awesome. So yeah, like one of the things that sometimes I get over the phone or when I meet with clients is like, well, what is the minimum? Or like, what does my credit score needs to be? Or some of them even say, well, my credit score is not that good. Am I able to get a loan? And I'm always like, you gotta call Dan. There is the Dan question. But let's talk about what entail a good credit score for somebody that wants to buy.
Yeah. So the higher the score, the easier the transaction is going to be. The more likely that the buyer is qualified. The credit score itself is just a big component in the whole process of buying a home. So credit scores range from 350 to 850, and no one's that high. The highest I believe I've seen was 817, 819, 822 in that world. But 740 is typically the highest break. So at 740 and above, those people get the best rate available from that lender on that day at that time.
So does the credit score have anything to do with the loan amount or just the interest rate?
So it's just the interest rate. So that's a great question because it does have an effect kind of on the back end of your question. So the interest rate is determined by the credit score, and then the loan amount can also affect the interest rate. So if you're borrowing less than $100,000, even if you're buying a $300,000 house, if you're putting $200,000 down and you're financing $100,000, that interest rate isn't going to be great because there's not a lot of profit in that loan at $100,000. And by profit I mean from the investor standpoint. With the mortgage-backed securities, people are investing in real estate, and a $100,000 loan, no matter how great the credit is, there's just not that much profit in it. So the loan amount will also affect the interest rate. But sticking just with interest rates, typically you have a break at 740 and above will get you the elite credit rate out there, interest rate out there. And then 680 is another break. So between 680 and 739, you get this tier of interest rate. And then from 640 to 679, is another one. And then 620. So 620 is where things start getting interest rates higher, but also it's just a little bumpier. There's more verification. There's more information that needs validated and investigated. Below 620, to the 600 and 620 mark, underwriting guidelines change, down payment amounts change, whether the borrower can have gift money or not. So when we get in that 640 and down, those are typically FHA loans, and the Federal Housing Authority has an appetite for that loan, but they're also going to have a lot of insurance on that loan, and that's all regulated as to how much mortgage insurance is on that loan product. And in the below 620, It's just a costlier loan. Rates higher. The percentage of insurance is the same, but the rates higher. There's more restrictions on the underwriting itself. So what? So if a buyer out there is looking and said, hey, I'm a 605. Dan, I need to move in 60 days. Can you do it? Well, maybe. It's going to be bumpy, and we're going to need a lot of documentation, a lot of explanation as to why you're 605. But it can be done. But if that same 605 would come to me, 4 months earlier and said, hey, I want to buy in 6 months, then we got something to work with. Mm-hmm. We can look at their credit and see what it's going to take to get them to the 640 mark. I've even held up people from 639 to 640 to get that 1 point, to get in that tier so they can get the house they want at the rate that they want, and make things smooth. So
this is one of the reasons why I love sending my buyers to you, because you are there to really guide them. Like, a lot of people just need the guidance of what to do, because sometimes they just get turned down and just tell them your credit score is not good and that's it. Like, they don't know what else to do, how they need to work on this to get there. So that's one of the reasons I absolutely love sending people to you, because I know that whenever you tell me that they are qualified and we're ready to start looking at houses, is because they are ready. You did all the paperwork and everything, and we're ready to go.
Yeah. So my job is to help people, and then I get paid for it. But the helping people really is the first part of it. It's easy sometimes to turn someone down and say, your score's not high enough, have a good day. But that doesn't help them. I mean, these are their hopes and dreams, and they want to do this, And so the person that will do the minor things that I suggest, or that credit repair company and get their score improved, I'll work with them as long as they, to get them where they want to be. Some people, have challenged credit, and that's just the way it is. They're you can't fix that. If they have to be motivated enough to do it, to fix it. But I've got a lot of articles on my Facebook page, Dan Crance, Your Mortgage Man, that talks about how many credit cards do I need? What happens if I pay a credit card off and close the account? Why is Credit Karma lower than my mortgage, or higher than what my mortgage guy says my credit score is? Mm-hmm. Those kind of things, because that pool is deep and wide. And just because a borrower doesn't understand the terminology or the aspects of buying a house, I try to set them at ease right off the bat. They come to me and, almost with their head down saying, I don't know anything about, buying a house. I'm, 40 years old, but I've never bought a house before. And so my first question to them is, what do you do for a living? And I say, well, I'm an engineer at Boeing. And I was like, well, I can guarantee you I know nothing about being an engineer at Boeing. So I'll help you with this side, and you just keep doing your job and making money and having good credit, and we'll get through it. So, it's about helping people. That's what we all want to do.
Yes, absolutely. All right, then. So if anybody has any more questions for you, would like to set up an appointment, how can they reach you?
Is 843-478-5612. That's my cell phone. Carry it with me all the time. Just ask my wife and family. And so that's the easiest way to send me a text or give me a call. My email address is dan@dcymm.com. That's Delta Charlie Yankee Mike.com, which stands for Dan Crance, Your Mortgage Man. And they can find me on Facebook there and on the internet. So how about you?
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Dan. So if you have questions for Dan and you don't remember all his information, you can always call me and I'll be glad to connect you. My phone number is 843-900-4449. You can find me on Facebook at Low Country Home Sales, and at the website lowcountryhomesale.com. And I'll be glad to connect you guys. Thank you so much, Dan, for taking time to talk to us, and we'll see you next time, everybody.